Hey guys, it's Brian with Frostbite Off-Road. We're back in the garage with the JL today, and today we're going to be changing our oil. This is one of those easy things you can do at home, so don't pay somebody else to do it. I'm going to show you how. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at what you need to do your oil change at home. So you are going to need some oil. So I have the 3.6 liter V6 Pentastar, and that's what comes in most of these Jeeps. They've made this for a while, but this is specific to the 2018 and up JL. The 2.0 is going to be a little different. It uses 520. We're going to want 020. So if you go ahead and take a look, we picked up this Pennzoil Platinum, full synthetic. It's a 020. And then what's also important is on the back, you want to make sure it meets Chrysler's spec. It's going to be MS6395. So you definitely want to pick up something that's got that on the back. Pennzoil is what comes in your Jeep from the factory, so we went with that. Should be a good alternative, and it's not too expensive. Another thing you're going to need is a OEM filter. So this one's going to be MO349. I actually got these on Amazon. I'll put a link down below if you guys want to check these out. They're pretty cheap. They're only like 10 bucks. So you can do your whole oil change for about under 50 bucks, which is awesome. A lot of the dealerships now are charging north of $100. So this is a cool thing you can do at home. So we did go ahead and pick up a new oil pan, drip pan. This thing's pretty cool. I'll put a link for this down below. This will take a lot of the mess out of draining the oil. Also picked up a oil filler. And then another thing you want is you're going to need a 24 millimeter. That's just to get the filter cap off. And then you're going to need a 13 millimeter, and that's for the drain plug on the oil pan. Another thing you might want is a little flathead screwdriver. There's a little O-ring on that filler cap that you want to go ahead and take off. And then I've also got a nice extension that'll help us get down in there. So this is all you need. So let's go ahead and we'll start changing the oil. I got a skid plate on my oil pan from Rusty's. It has a little cover for the drain plug. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. We'll get this draining, and then I'll show you how to change out that filter. Alright guys, that's going to be that 13 millimeter drain plug for the oil pan. We went ahead and removed the flap for the skid plate here that was covering that up. As you can see, the skid plate is definitely doing its job, taking a few hits right around there, so it's a good thing I have this. Now that we got that plate out of the way, we can go ahead and loosen that 13 millimeter. Let's go get our drain pan and we'll get this guy drained. Okay guys, now that we got it draining down below, let's go ahead and pull the filter out. Let me show you how to do that. There's going to be our oil filter cap. That's going to be that 24 millimeter there for you. This is going to be where we fill the oil here. And it says right on there you want to use that 020 like we were talking about. Let's go ahead and we'll pull this plastic cover out for the filter and we'll get it changed out on the bench. Alright, let's go ahead and use that 24 millimeter and we'll pull that oil filter cap off. This is just plastic. This shouldn't be on there too tight. I believe torque spec's around 18 foot-pounds when you're putting it back on. But you do just want to get it nice and snug if you don't have a torque wrench. But you want to be careful pulling this out. This is probably going to drip a little. Alright, so now that we went ahead and pulled our oil filter out, you do want to have some rags laying around because this does have quite a bit of oil still in it. So we're going to go ahead and pop this guy out. This is going to be that old cartridge. And that pops right out. You can see it just indexes right in there. So one of the things that our new filter comes with is a new O-ring here at the top. You want to make sure you replace that. So that's what we're going to use that little flathead screwdriver for. Just kind of work that off there. And then you will have a new one of these in your box. So we're going to go ahead and put that on. You do want to put some of the old oil on the little rubber O-ring there. That way when it goes back together, it doesn't bind it at all. Alright, so there's that new one for us. Let's go ahead and we'll put a little bit of that oil on there, just so it doesn't go on dry. And we'll pop that guy back on. And it's hard to see, but you want to make sure you get that all the way back on there. Now that we got that guy back on there, we've got our new filter here. As you can see, that old one's quite dirty. The oil's pretty dark too, so we were definitely due for an oil change. So let's go ahead and we'll lube up that little rubber piece at the end there. We can pop this back in till it clicks, and then it's retained in there. So we can actually go ahead and put this back in the Jeep. Let's go ahead and put our drain plug back in. We can start filling up our new oil. Alright guys, now that we got the new filter in, you wanted to tighten that one down nice and snug, or 18 foot-pounds is what they call for. It says 25 Newton meters on the cap. We're going to go ahead and take our 13 millimeter. Let's get our drain plug back in. And this is going to be 20 foot-pounds or nice and snug. You don't want to over tighten these. You can go ahead and strip those out. So I'm going to clean up the skid plate a little bit. One of the disadvantages of doing an oil change with the skid plate is it gets a lot more mess all over the place. But we're going to clean this all up, get this back in, and then we can go ahead and fill up our new oil. Alright, now that we went ahead and tightened up the drain plug and the filter, let's go ahead and put our new oil in, then we'll be all set. Let's go ahead and pour this in. We do have our funnel just so we don't make too big of a mess, and we got our 5 quarts of that 020 Pennzoil. Let's get her in there. Let's just pop our cap off there. Gonna clean that a little bit. Okay, now that we put all 5 quarts in, we're done. Let's go ahead and put the cap back on. We're gonna reset our computer inside so it says that we're 100% on the oil. We're gonna check our dipstick, make sure everything's good to go. Start it up real quick, make sure we don't have any leaks, and then we're all set. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, she's full of oil. Let's go ahead and fire her up and reset that computer. So as you can see, it says 4%. We're gonna press the OK button and hold it. And then now we're back to 100%. So let's go ahead, fire her up, make sure we don't have any leaks, and then we'll be all done. Okay guys, that's gonna do it for our quick oil change here at home. As you see, it's really easy. Don't pay somebody else to do it, you can do it yourself right here in your garage. Alright guys, that's going to be it for me. Go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks guys.